Hey, Veronika, welcome to the Northern Lights podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
For everybody who doesn't know, this is Veronika Alfaro from Mi Sota Essence.
Thank you.
I do have one question for you right off the bat. Where does the name Mi Sota Essence come from?
So, Mi Sota is a play on me being Latina. So me, like my soda essence. And soda is a play on Minnesota. And then your essence is like breathing in what does it mean to be Minnesotan, right? Like nature, just who we are. We have tough winters. We have beautiful summers. Like who we are. And so, really kind of bringing that in.
Wow, I'm even seeing it deeper. I'm seeing the brand even deeper now. Now, you started with topicals. Mm-hmm. Take us through your why when it came to finding CBD, using CBD, and then telling and selling CBD.
Yeah, so I started with topicals just because I personally was going through a lot of pain. I was dealing with cervical spinal stenosis in my neck and back, and they were telling me I needed to have fusion surgery. And I'm young. And at that time, this was in 2018 when this had happened. I had just graduated from college.
Sure.
And it just wasn't how I saw my life. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to figure out a different way. I'm going to figure out what's going to help me. And cannabis was one of those things. And my husband is the one that actually introduced me to it and was just trying to figure out, okay, smoking works, but it wasn't getting to my pain. Uh-huh. What really worked, and topicals was what that changed it.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, how do I do this? How do I share this with people? And I was sharing it on my stories, and people were asking me, how do I want some? So I was like, okay, well, how do I do this legally?
Or how do I even do this?
Yeah. Like what would I need to do? And so I realized that I needed to get my hemp license because I was touching the plant and I was playing with hemp and I was using it from the flower to creating an oil.
Oh, okay.
So like in order to do that, you have to have a hemp license.
Right.
So a hemp processor license to be exact. So I figured out what do I need to do that? And that was like my first step in like my journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember those first products that you brought to Stadium Bar and Grill when we met right before Cannaween. I was managing Canna MN's Instagram account at the time. I think we quickly followed each other and reached out, DM'd, and told you we had an event coming up, and you and John came, and that was like our first solid memory of each other, of meeting each other, and then, introducing you or finding people in the hemp industry.
Yeah. That was our first event that we went to, and I brought our cayenne pepper.
Yes.
And that's cayenne pepper, arnica, and our CBD oil that we make, and it's just.
What's the benefit of the blend?
So arnica really helps with inflammation, and like we just deal with so much inflammation. So does cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is also an inflammation reducer. So like a lot of places in South America, they actually prescribe that as an inflammation reducer. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's just kind of blending my background, being Latina, and like figuring out what are some remedies that we use to reduce inflammation. And that was one of them. And I created it initially for my mom who has arthritis in her knees. So it was a really great way for her to like reduce that inflammation in there and like move with it.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
And you still make that product now?
We do.
Cool.
We do.
And you still use that product?
We still use the product. My mom still uses it. Yeah.
There's not enough people in this industry that are using CBD enough. That's my disposition.
Yeah. And not enough places are doing like CBD massages.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really? Like
that's where you ended up trying to take your product, right?
Yeah. That's kind of like when we first started out, that's really where we were going with it, and like figuring out what massage therapists would work with us, but a lot were scared. So, I mean, I think there are more opening up now, but not as many. So it was still difficult moving.
Especially coming out of the pandemic. I mean, this was still pandemic era.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did your brand grow after that event into 2022, towards the end of 2022? I know you were working with the Uptown Prima Collective. Primitiva Collective.
Yeah.
We crossed paths there once or twice.
Yep.
And you probably were doing farmers markets, pop-ups. Like, all in all, like, where did you start to see some progress for your brand?
Yeah, so we kind of went into doing Richfield. We were at the Richfield Farmers Market for a long time and kind of really setting up home base there. And then we moved from there. We became a part of Primitiva because Richfield no longer allowed, when the summer came, we went to try to be a part of their farmers market outside, the summer one, and we were no longer allowed to participate because they had put in moratoriums. And
so this was 2023 summer, I would imagine. That's when the moratoriums came? Like a year in?
No, this was 2022.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they were not allowing it. So I was like, okay.
It's those goddamn CBD beverages that everybody's worried about.
Well, and also there was one more aspect, insurance.
Okay.
We needed the insurance. And so we got the insurance. But let me tell you that's not a cheap. But it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's needed and it's a part of business.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Business insurance is a part of business, without a doubt.
But with that, we were able to participate in so many more farmers markets. Like, that opened up the door to be a part of Mill City. We were the first THC company being able to sell there. So that was really, really cool, being a part of that community. We were able to be a part of Linden Hills. We were we were just able to grow in different aspects with it and participate in different things. And that's
an infectious feeling when you get involved with farmers markets. You're around the vendors. You're seeing the possibilities of homemade products. I spent a lot of time at farmers markets in 2022, 2023, and I loved it.
It's a great community.
Yes.
And it's where to like really talk to your people and educate, because right now, like, more than anything, we need education. We need to be talking to the community, and that is where you're able to talk to them. That's where they're at.
I agree. I got I got inspired by the St. Paul Farmers Market, and I took a lot of that with me into Canna Connect. But when we talk about education, we have to talk about the full spectrum of education. I just feel like there's way too much education or way too much limelight on THC as an isolate, THC as an individual cannabinoid. And I think that more people would be able to get onto cannabis if they were using the full spectrum.
I agree. I wish we were able to use it more in different ways, especially in like products like these.
Yeah.
Like
it's limiting.
It is because the whole plant offers so many more benefits. I know personally, for me, who deals with pain and pain management, that's how I go about my life. I live it through cannabis movement and really incorporating that into it. And that's a part of our mission too. So like, it's important.
So you shared that part of your brand with me just a little bit ago, and about movement and how that's a part of your daily life. For people that are following you on Instagram, they know you have a certain ritual in the wintertime with John, and also I saw you with Allison recently, and you and I have even done an ice plunge together on your birthday a couple of years ago. So tell us a little bit about how you utilize cold plunging to your advantage and how that helps you be a better mom, wife, entrepreneur, leading woman in the Latino Minnesota cannabis industry. Tell us a little bit about what that does for you.
Yeah, it invigorates me because it shows me that I can do these things. It's not easy going to that hole. Like, it is probably one of the hardest things that I do. Like, the drive, and I drive 30 minutes to get to my hole, to the Harriet Magic Hole. Shout out to my dipping community people. But yeah, I drive 30 minutes to get to the hole. So like, I just go. I just go without thinking sometimes, because if I think too hard, I probably won't go.
Interesting. Think about that with your advice to like fellow entrepreneurs or prospective entrepreneurs, when you were just telling us earlier, like, it's about showing up.
It is.
Whether it's an ice plunge or a monthly meeting.
It is. It's all about showing up, and showing up for yourself. Because if you're not pushing that and you're not pushing yourself to do more, then we're not going to grow as people, as a community. We just have to, and it all starts with showing up.
Yes, and
super easy.
not in a selfish way, but in a straight and narrow, like in a clear way. Like the ice plunge helps you show up more defiantly, more clear.
Yeah, it helps me mentally too, like, and physically, and just like it helps me fill my cup. It really, and so when I'm filling my cup, I'm able to literally give more than throughout the day, throughout all the roles that I play as a mom, as an entrepreneur, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of up and downs that we go through and so many different pivots that we go through. I'm currently going through a pivot right now, right?
Right.
Like I'm able to handle it though in a way that with grace and just love and appreciation for, because I'm able to cold dip. Like cold dip just allows my heart to just kind of calm down and just, it's okay. It's okay.
14, 16-hour days, it's okay.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, so looking ahead to 2024, what are some of the things you're excited about? What are you working on? What can you share with the Northern Lights audience?
Yeah, so going into 2024, we are definitely expanding our beverage line and working on some new beverages with that. We are also learning to educate and just really still working on policy side of things, learning that there is still, so like because I am putting out Latino inspired products, right? And there is still issues with immigration and people using these products and it affecting them. Even though these are federally legal products, right?
The effect is not.
Yeah, exactly.
The drug test is not.
Exactly. And there's issues there, right? It's just, and I want to make sure I'm not harming my community, which is probably the biggest thing.
That's fascinating.
So, but it's also knowing that I'm also a proud Latina business owner, right?
Right.
And
who's done it the right way.
Yeah. And trying to come out here and like really create a pathway and take up space.
Yeah. So, I mean, you shouldn't not do it, but you're running into unique circumstances, unique perspectives that are potentially making you scratch your head at night in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's issues even on the consumption side, but also even on the business side, people wanting to get into this space. It's really, you have to be a U.S. citizen.
Sure.
So it's just like understanding that and realizing that. So like even, for instance, my dad, who's a permanent resident, can even invest into my company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because of its nature as it...
Well, it would affect his... So like if he were to go get a citizenship, which he's going to have to, it would count as he's investing into an illegal trafficking business. And because federally it's not...
And that sounds like a complicated matter to distinguish.
Yeah. So it's like all different aspects of it, right? There's more than just consumption. There's all different pathways. So it's like figuring out how...
well, it's community support. So for you to look to your community for support, it's inherently more challenging in your community.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even just people who are immigrants, because it can be fair, but it's just figuring out ways to... if there is a way, or just shedding light on how we can really deschedule it.
Yeah.
And moving forward and like figuring out a path for that.
Sure.
So, and just bringing light on that.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you're working on with the Minnesota Hemp Growers Cooperative or Cannabis Growers Cooperative?
Yeah. So, man, shout out to them. I can't, like, I remember our first time being a part of the community, the first meetings going into that, bringing us into, because the Lovelace case and bringing all the community together.
Yeah, Carol Moss was holding court.
Yeah, like it was really pretty amazing. And now to see, I can call these people friends now and like really colleagues in the space.
Absolutely.
Right. And learning how we've grown together and like been able to create different partnerships because of it and creating ways of growing and moving the industry. So that's been probably one of the biggest things. But recently I just took on also committee chair for membership. So learning to grow the membership and really creating space for our industry.
Sure.
And our craft industry. And really pulling together as a community.
Yeah. you and I see a lot in common there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited for the expo we have coming up in April for that too. So
congrats.
Yeah. And seeing how we can grow and educate the community with that. So
cool. We'll be right back, and we're going to try some brand new Agua Fresca Tropical Haze from Veronika and Mi Sota Essence. All right, and we're back to try some product. Veronika, I saw you here right around Halloween, maybe the day of Halloween. Tell us a little bit about the Halloween event at Dabbler Depot.
Yeah, that was such a cool experience. So much fun. And they had these big fire pits with the fire. I love the fire. It was so warm by them. But we created a really cool altar for that event. So
it was colder that day than it is today, and it's like January 29th today.
You're right on that. You're definitely right about that. But yeah, that was a really cool event. It was fun to gather around with the community and kind of do like a Halloween trick-or-treating with THC products and just education. Tanner was there.
Yeah, they pulled it together. Shout out to Will and Kale for throwing that event outside.
Yeah. And it was really cool because we were able to, it was like a homage to my grandma. So we did an altar for introducing people to cultural experiences. We're all about experiences and really kind of bringing that. And we did an altar of Dia de los Muertos. And I had my grandma she's the one that, showed me this recipe. This is our family recipe. This is her recipe.
Wow.
So we were kind of paying homage to that and just saying thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. I remember seeing you there. I only stuck around a little bit, but yes, Tanner was there, and it ended up turning into a pretty busy Halloween event. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's fun. Tell us a little bit about the beverage now. Let's talk about it.
So this is Tropical Haze, and this is actually, I kind of collaborated with my girlfriend, Angie, on this.
Yes, I've met Angie.
Yeah, you've met Angie. So we kind of put this together because we're the Marierba sisters.
Okay.
And so we actually share birthdays. So that's what the 1229 is.
Yeah. Okay. That was one of my questions was, what is the 1229 symbolic of?
So, and this is what we wanted to do, was create an experience for people to take into their homes. This is a cultural experience. So this is a THC Agua Fresca with pineapple and hibiscus. And then we rim it up with chamoy, a mango chamoy, and then it comes with the tajin.
This is like a picnic. I mean, if you're picking up a 4-pack, like, you should go with this one because it's an experience, and we're going to show you how you can sort of dress up the beverage at home. It's going to be a lot of fun to drink.
Yeah. Here, let's get this. Oh, there.
So it's agua, not aqua. Agua Fresca.
Agua Fresca, yep. So, and it's essentially like spa water, I guess is what it would be called.
Okay. I like both of those things.
Yeah. It is. So this is a nitrogen dose too. So there is minimal carbonation in here. And the reason why I say minimal is because nitrogen does mean it's not carbonated, but there's still like a little bit of
I think like the nitro coffee.
Yeah.
There's a certain airiness to it.
Yeah, and just sits a little bubble sit on your tongue.
Sure.
So that's why I don't want to say it's completely flat because it isn't either.
Okay.
But it's, so it's just here.
Let's get into it.
So we'll rim it up so that you have the keychain with it, and then you will literally just kind of take it on your front of your can, and then you'll rim it up with tajin. And then the cool part is with the keychain, you're not going to use it. You'll still have leftover, right?
Sure.
So there's different ways of, you can also use it for fruit. You can use it on.
What are some popular fruits that people put tajin on?
Watermelon, mango.
Watermelon. Yes.
My favorite is Jamaica.
Okay. Yes.
You can also do apples.
Sure.
I really like apples.
Right. That would be an approachable one for people.
Here, I'll give you this
Oh,
one.
thank you. Oh, that's mine. Wow. Thank you.
I'll make it. I'm
liking your brand. I'm enjoying it more. And that's that's part of the Northern Lights experience, right? To be able to really talk through what these, I say entrepreneurs, but pioneers are doing in the space. I mean, anyone who's making an innovative product in the Minnesota hemp industry right now could be considered a pioneer just by the times that we're living in. You know, the amount of change that's happening in our industry over the last 3 years since we've met, a little less than 3 years. Like it's mind-blowing.
Yep.
It's fascinating.
It really is. Oh, you know what? I wanted you to try it without, also with it, and then
that's
without.
Right. That's
so
right.
Here, let's do this one without.
We've got a new Minnesota Cannabis Culture cup. We could pour some in.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Well, I think it will.
Just with the crack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I see what you mean.
So it's a different experience without it. So it's like two different experiences. You get one flavor with, and then one flavor without it.
Tropical Haze. Here we go. 1229. That first sip is really nice. It's a friendly flavor. Pineapple. Okay, so it's the pineapple that I'm tasting initially. Mm-hmm. And then I like the smoothness of the hibiscus and the spa water. That's nice. It makes me want to have another sip right away.
Yeah. Yep. Here, I'll open this
Oh,
one.
that's very good. It's a lot of fun.
Salud.
Salute. On the back. 1229 is a representation of when you trust in yourself, have the courage to dream, and live that dream. Mi Sota Essence.
Yeah. Where it's all about just changing things and taking up space, because here in Minnesota, we don't have any Latino cannabis companies out here, and I want to make sure, and that's kind of what we're doing. We're creating Latino inspired products, and we're taking up space.
Sure.
And really trying to figure out a way through that.
Speaking of space, where can people find this product right now?
Yeah, so on our website, there is a list on where to buy, and it lists all the stores that you can purchase it at.
Great. So misotaessence.com. If you're interested, you can definitely check out the website and look for where you can find the product. Now let's try it with some spice.
Yes. Okay, here, Tanner, this one's for you. I was like, let me open this up.
I was standing behind the camera and get myself validated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Salud. Salud.
Cheers.
That's really, really good.
See how it's a different taste?
Totally different taste. Yeah.
It's a different experience, and it's just about bringing that into people's homes.
It's complementing in a sense. It's, very flavorful. Yeah. I know I got a lot, but I'm treating this like a picnic. I kind of want some more tahini.
There you go.
And so that's the nitro effect?
That's a nitro effect. Yep.
So it's powering it up.
Yep. It's without, because carbonation, it doesn't have carbonation, right?
Okay.
So it's not giving that fizz to it. So with the nitrogen, it just kind of adds that pressure.
Yeah.
And stabilizes it. It's really cool watching it.
Yeah.
It's just like a little, and it goes in, and it almost looks like just smoke coming out. It's so cool.
Wow. So it's a gas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. And made in Morgan, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Shout out to Crested River.
Crested River, yeah, with Sean. I will say the beverage side of things has been an interesting road going along, like figuring it all out and everything, whereas the cookies was different, right? And we're manufacturing the cookies and doing things, whereas this, we're figuring out what is our pipeline, how does it go, and everything.
It's more complex.
It's way more complex, but it's fun.
Yeah.
We really enjoy it. It's a new market here. It's a growing market.
Right.
And it's excited to be a part of, and kind of creating experiences for people to enjoy that are very different than what they're used to.
Yeah. So one, how has your product been received? But two, what are some of the questions that you get that you could maybe answer on this platform about the product?
I think the biggest one was honestly like how to use it, right? How to do the chamoy and tajin. I think is the biggest thing. The other thing is we do sell it. We like to sell in 4-packs. So like in stores, it's a lot of times you will find them in 4-packs because we want it to be a whole cultural experience with the chamoy and tajin.
Sure.
So yeah, that's
Right. It's hard to sell this as a single with it doesn't necessarily work in every cooler.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I can see that.
But something we are looking into going for, especially 2024, is trying to going into restaurants with it.
Yes.
And kind of saying this is a garnishment and this is how it's garnished and this is how we want you to serve it. So
right.
That's like our big mission, is to really kind of hone in on that and figure out that side.
I'm excited to see this come around.
Yeah, me too.
Veronika, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Salud.
Prost.